Executive produced by Suge Knight. We all know how that turned out. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to a new video. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. It feels like forever since I made a video. I've just been busy with work. I haven't really been able to go out much with all this stuff going on. Going to record stores just isn't as fun when I'm wearing a mask. I get so hot and sweaty. So I've just been staying home and just watching Mad Men. So today, we're gonna talk about my rap collection again. We're gonna start with the letter D and work our way to E. Before we get started, if you guys wanna subscribe to the channel, I'd really appreciate it. Give it a thumbs up if you like this. Let me know if you guys want me to keep going and making these videos again. So let's just get started. The first record I have, it's a group, Dilated Peoples. It's under Rhymesayer's label. My favorite tracks in here were Cut My Teeth. The Dark Room has Vince Staples on it. This album came out in 2014. Dilated Peoples is on a clear vinyl. It's a gatefold. This was a pretty good album when it came out. The next one I have is De La Soul, 3 Feet High and Rising. This is a pretty classic album. This is my favorite De La Soul album. This is just a repress. It's just on black vinyl. The sleeves match the artwork.
Not doing a very good job. Next!
This is a Record Store Day exclusive. The DOC, No One Can Do It Better. My favorite songs in here is Funky Enough, Let the Bass Go. The DOC, it's pretty sad what happened to him. Rap career kind of got cut short. Next one, I have a original D12, D12's World, which was my first D12 album that I got. This one's a gatefold. It's got all the D12 members. I don't think I can name just one song off of here that I like, but I mean, the hit song is My Band, which everyone knows. 6 in the Morning, Get My Gun, Just Like You is one of my favorite ones from Bizarre. Bizarre is probably my favorite D12 member in the group. His bars and his rhymes and stuff, they're just so funny and witty, and they're just disturbing at sometimes, I guess you could say. There's no credit sleeve or anything like that. I used to listen to it constantly. Next one, I got this repress of Devil's Night D12, which has got the holographic matches on there. Respect the Classic, I really like that label. I don't think I've seen anything from them recently that I really wanted. First D12 album. This one has Purple Pills, Fight Music. It's just on black vinyl. I actually found this at an antique store. DMX Grand Champ. I bought it for like 12 bucks. Not my favorite DMX album, but I couldn't pass it up. I just thought it was so funny that I found it at an antique store. Where the Hood At, Dogs Out, Get on the Floor. It's got the classic Pitbull on the back. This one actually does have an inner, lyric sheet and everything. DMX in his prime. Next, I got a couple of singles in here just because I kept them by Dr. Dre. So we have Dr. Dre, Dre Day, which is a Record Store Day exclusive. 2018, I believe this one came out. So it's just a single. It's on clear vinyl. It's got Dre Day, 187. Puffing on blunts on the other side. Normally I don't like singles, but if it's on Record Store Day and I got the extra money, I normally pick them up, especially if it's an artist I like. So I've got a couple of these. So I have Dr. Dre The Chronic, Nothing But a G Thing. So it's got the radio version, LP version, instrumental on it. I mean, it's nice if you're into DJing, but I just haven't got there yet with DJing, so it's more of a collector's item for me. And then I have the digital remastered, The Chronic, Dr. Dre, which everyone knows, probably everyone who's watching this video has already. I don't know if you can name just a couple songs you like off this album either. Fuck With Dre Day, Rat-a-tat-tat, Bitches Ain't Shit. It's a classic album. This one does have just Dre on a Impala. Executive produced by Suge Knight. We all know how that turned out. So next I have Drake. If you're reading this, it's too late. which was like a mixtape album. I don't really know. A playlist. I don't know. He changes what he wants to call them. Every time he puts out an album, he seems to change what he wants to call it. If it's a playlist, if it's whatever. It's a gatefold. When this album came out, I listened to it constantly. The only song I don't like on this album is Madonna. I hate the beat of Madonna. I don't know what it is. It's just I cannot listen to it. Madonna is the worst track on this album. Then we got another Drake, Views. It's another gatefold. 9's probably my favorite song on here.
To the 6 upside down, it's a 9 now.
Drake's best album, Take Care. I don't think you can tell me different that this is not Drake's best album. It's his second album. It's on a gatefold. This one is just on black vinyl. It says Take Care on the labels there. This is by far my favorite Drake album. I always listen to his other albums when they come out, but nothing has really topped Take Care. If you're reading this, maybe it's a close second for me. The last Drake one I have is Scorpion, which is a double album made in Canada, gatefold. Not my favorite Drake album, but I had to get it for the collection. I don't really listen to this one as much. I do like I'm Upset, God's Plan. 8 out of 10 is one of my favorite songs on here, and Mob Ties. It's okay. Lil Dicky, professional rapper. This is a gatefold. It shows all his little nerdy life events. It's just on a black vinyl. The labels are kind of cool. It's just him. And I'm still waiting on a new album from Lil Dicky, so fingers crossed. But if you haven't heard Lil Dicky, he's like a comedian rapper. If you listen to his songs, I think you'll understand right away. He's got a song, Professional Rapper, with Snoop Dogg, which is really funny. Let Me Freak, Molly with Brendan Urie, which is a pretty good song. Next we have Danny Brown, Triple X. This is my favorite Danny Brown album. It's just on a black vinyl. It's a gatefold, just red inside. 30 is probably my favorite song off this album. Next we have Danny Brown Old. Pretty big album when it came out. He's got a song with The Return with Freddie Gibbs on it. Dope Fiend Rental with Schoolboy Q. Dip, Smoking and Drinking. It's a pretty good album. Before he got his tooth fixed and a haircut. He's just doing anything to stand out, This one's under Fool's Gold. When I bought this, I happened to see the first Run the Jewels, and I had no idea who Run the Jewels were at the time when this album came out, because I think it was 2014. And I knew that Danny Brown was on Fool's Gold, so I was like, oh, I'll give this album a listen just because I thought the album cover was so cool. So I picked it up, and now I listen to Run the Jewels all the time, and they're on their 4th album. So a lot of people think this is Danny Brown's best album, which I disagree. I didn't even care for this one that much. I ordered this from his site, and it has this plastic case on it. But as soon as I got it, it was already ripped like this. It's not that great of an album case. So it just comes out, and it looks like this. And there's 2 albums in it. A booklet that kind of comes with it. And then the albums are actually like a translucent, pink. The only thing I wish was different about the packaging is that it was in a sturdier case. The last one I have for the D category is Danny Brown's newest album, You Know What I'm Saying. This came out this year, I believe, right? It seems like forever ago. I don't even remember when this came out now. Okay, I'm leaving this on. So it came with this big sticker wheel, which I haven't used on anything. A download card. And it's just on black vinyl. I really like Dirty Laundry on this album. That's probably my favorite song on here. I want to say this came out this year. But with everything, it seems like it's been 2 years dealing with everything here. executive produced by Q-Tip. So now we're at the E category. So first thing is a single. And I bought this just because it looked just like the original single. Ruthless Records, The Boys in the Hood, Eazy-E. Nothing too special, it's a repress. I think this also came from Respect the Classic, I think.
Moving on.
I have a repress of Eminem's Infinite, which is on a gatefold. So it opens up, but it's just one album. And then it is a clear vinyl, if I remember correctly. My favorite song on Infinite is probably Infinite. I have an original pressing of the Slim Shady LP, which is my favorite Eminem album. It's just on a black vinyl. It's got the black labels. And then just this year, I bought, I think it's a limited 2000 pressing, same album, but it is on a purple vinyl. And it's still on a black label. I just thought it looked so cool. You can kind of tell with the light. When you're looking at it just directly, it looks more black, but whoop. So I have two of those, and I also have the box set Slim Shady LP, which I'll show towards the end of the video because I have another box set that I want to show with it. Next one we have Eminem, the Marshall Mathers LP, an original pressing. I still have the shrink on it just because it has the hype sticker and I didn't want to take it off. So it's just on a black vinyl. It's got this little, it's like a smaller inner sleeve here with the credits and everything on there. I bought the original pressing of Slim Shady LP and Marshall Mathers LP at the same time, along with that D12's World from a guy in Fargo here, and he's kind of a crankier guy. Once I bought those, every time I see him, he seems happy to see me. I'm happy I have them, and I had the money at the time, so I ended up buying them. I'm not sure what pressing this is. It's not on red vinyl like some of them, just black. But the Eminem Show, which was probably one of the first introductions to Eminem. Once I heard this album, I went back and listened to every other album he had at the time. I'd hide my Eminem CDs from my dad because he told me he would throw them away if he ever found them. He never found them, and I still have the original CDs. Next one, Eminem Encore. This is a gatefold. In my opinion, this is Eminem's last good album. Just on black vinyl. But yeah, in my opinion, this was Eminem's last good album. After this, Proof died, and I think Proof had a lot to do with how Eminem rapped and how Eminem was as a person. And then everyone else knows what album came next, Relapse, which a lot of people say is Eminem's worst album. But at the time, I was like a senior in high school maybe. No, I wasn't a senior. I was like 16, 17. I remember me and my friend were listening to this album. We just bought it because I got like a gift card for like a prom I went to or something. And we just bought it. We were driving home and we hadn't slept since the night before, and we almost crashed in the ditch while we were listening to this album. My Mom, 3 a.m., Crack a Bottle, which was a huge song at the time. It was like everyone's ringtone. I personally like this album, but you can tell it's like his alter ego, Slim Shady, taking over, and it's not as good as his first 4 albums. As a kid, I remember thinking every album Eminem has, he has like one silly song with like the Slim Shady alter ego, and then he has more deep, introspective songs. And then after this Relapse album, that whole like way of making an album changed. And then Recovery came out. And so this is also a gatefold. Just gonna be it's got the logo for the Recovery album on there. When this album came out, I did not care for it at all. I didn't like that it went so far the opposite direction. Maybe that's what it was. What it was. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know, but it was so different. I think Cinderella Man is probably my favorite song on this. And I think this album, I think Recovery, was the album that parents actually stopped hating Eminem. Because my whole childhood, parents like despised this guy. They hated his guts. I remember I had a cousin who bought Slim Shady LP or the Marshall Mathers LP. I don't know, he was like 10 years old, or maybe he's 9 years old, and he was listening to it. And I remember his mom just talking
You're like, oh my God, I can't believe the filth coming out of his mouth. Oh my God, and blah, blah, blah.
People were smashing his CDs in the streets, and I feel like people forget that. No one remembers that. And now everyone's like, oh, I love Eminem.
Moving on.
I think this was Eminem's kind of big comeback. Marshall Mathers LP2. Gatefold. In front of the same house as the Marshall Mathers LP1. Bad Guy's a good song on here. Headlights is a pretty good song where he's like reconciling with his mom, which is kind of cool because, you know, if you know Eminem, him and his mom never got along. And I thought this was a good use of making a comeback. You know, how some people have a part 2 of this album, part 2 of that album. I thought this kept the same feel as Marshall Mathers LP, and it made sense to call it Marshall Mathers LP 2. This next one is Eminem's worst album, in my opinion. I can't listen to this thing. I feel bad for anyone who's on this album. Skylar Grey, Ex-Ambassadors, Pink, Ed Sheeran. These are all people Eminem would have made fun of 10 years prior to this. I'm still waiting on a day he makes a song with Justin Timberlake because I just think that would be so hilarious. Just because he hated NSYNC, he hated boy bands. But, I mean, he gets older. Things change. To each their own, you know. It's a gatefold. So this is just black vinyl. I didn't get like the special edition of any kind. So in my opinion, that's his worst album. And so many people thought that he felt the need that he had to make another album. I feel like it wasn't even a year later. Kamikaze. It's on a gatefold. I didn't get any kind of fancy colors. You know, most of the time, if I get a color, it's by accident. So like this one is like a puke army green looking color. And this is the album that sparked the beef, you know, Eminem, MGK beef, and anyone else who wanted to come at him at that time. It's an okay album. I don't personally listen to it. If I'm listening to Eminem, it's his first 4 albums. Maybe I'm just old and I just don't care about the new Eminem stuff. If it was up to me, he would have retired after Recovery. This is just a single, Just Lose It. I've never opened it because I've never needed to listen to it. I've got the album, so I just throw that on if I want to listen to it. Next one is Eminem's Greatest Hits, Curtain Call, which is okay. I mean, it did give us Mockingbird is on this, which was a really good song when it came out. But if you don't want to listen to all of his albums, get the Greatest Hits. It'll be just fine. So we have the Eminem The Re-Up, which is like a compilation sort of thing. You know, it's got like the guys in D12, 50 Cent, G Unit's in here. I remember I pirated this album when it came out, and I actually just got this album like last year on vinyl. So I can't even remember off the top of my head what songs I liked on this album. Pistol Pistol, but that's also on the D12 album. So it's kind of, I don't really know what you call this. I think it's just like a mashup and remixes, and you know, I think he just signed 50 Cent, so 50 Cent got to be on it. 2006 it says. And then we have Bad Meets Evil. I really liked this album when it came out. Royce the 5'9", Eminem. I keep it in the Eminem section just so I know where it's at. Welcome to Hell, The Reunion. I bought this when it came out. 2011, man, that seems like forever ago. That's the last 2 things I have. I have the Shady Anniversary. It's like a box set. It's pretty thick. So it's got 4 albums. I think it's 1, 2. Yeah, it's got 4 albums in it. And this is more of a compilation, kind of like a collection of Shady records. It's got D12 songs, Yellow Wolf songs. It's got some bonus songs. Lose Yourself demo is on here. It's cool to have in your collection if you're an Eminem fan. I don't think anyone really wanted that when it came out. And I see him on sale all the time still. And my last thing I have to show you guys is my Eminem Slim Shady LP box set. It's the 20th anniversary edition. Ooh. The holograph on it. I've got a picture of this on my Instagram if you guys want to check that out. A blue vinyl, purple vinyl, So it's got the red vinyl. And then it's got the iconic Vicodin pill on the back, which is on the original Eminem CD. And I know you can go listen to this on Spotify if you guys haven't heard it. It just comes with some like unreleased demos and things like that with it. It's probably my favorite thing right now that's in my collection. Well, thank you guys for watching. That's my hip hop collection, D through E. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. I post a new video every week. And as always, I'll see you guys next time.
Hey, hey.